The Eastern Front, a clash of titans. World War II was a global conflict that reshaped the world. It engulfed nations and continents in its wake, leaving a trail of devastation. On the Eastern Front, the battle raged between two titans, Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union, each determined to outlast the other. This clash was a brutal struggle for survival, with both sides suffering immense losses. Millions of soldiers clashed in a war of ideology and conquest, fighting for their respective nations' futures. The Eastern Front was a theatre of immense scale and ferocity, unmatched in its intensity. From the Baltic Sea to the Black Sea, armies clashed in a relentless war of attrition, with no end in sight. The vast plains and frozen landscapes witnessed the horrors of modern warfare, where survival was a daily struggle. Cities were reduced to rubble, and entire populations were caught in the crossfire, suffering unimaginable hardships. Amidst this maelstrom of destruction, one city would become a symbol of resilience: Leningrad, standing tall against the odds. This historic city, known for its culture and beauty, would endure a siege that shocked the world, lasting for 872 days. The Siege of Leningrad became a testament to the human spirit's ability to endure unimaginable suffering, showcasing the strength and determination of its people. Leningrad held immense strategic importance for both Germany and the Soviet Union. Its location and resources made it a coveted prize in the brutal conflict. For Adolf Hitler, the city was a symbol of Russian pride and resilience. Capturing it would not only cripple the Soviet war effort, but also serve as a powerful propaganda victory. Its capture would be a devastating blow to Soviet morale, shattering the spirit of the people and the soldiers defending it. Hitler coveted Leningrad's shipyards, factories, and access to the Baltic Sea. These assets were crucial for maintaining and expanding his military operations. For the Soviets, Leningrad was a vital port city, essential for receiving supplies and reinforcements. It was a center of industry and culture, producing weapons, ships, and other war materials critical to the Soviet defense. The city held immense historical and symbolic significance, representing the heart and soul of the Soviet Union. Defending Leningrad was not just a military objective, it was a matter of national pride and survival. The city's defenders were determined to hold their ground at any cost. The city's fate hung in the balance as German forces advanced in the summer of 1941, bringing with them the full might of the Wehrmacht. The Soviets, caught off guard by the initial German onslaught, scrambled to prepare their defenses. Every man, woman, and child was called upon to contribute to the city's defense. The stage was set for a brutal siege that would test the limits of human endurance. The people of Leningrad faced starvation, bombardment, and unimaginable hardships, yet their spirit remained unbroken. In September 1941, the German army, aided by Finnish forces, completed the encirclement of Leningrad. The siege had begun. The city was cut off from the rest of the Soviet Union, supply lines were severed, and communication with the outside world became increasingly difficult. The German strategy was one of attrition. They aimed to starve the city into submission. Hitler believed that a lengthy siege would be less costly than a direct assault. He underestimated the resolve of the Soviet people and the defenders of Leningrad. The early days of the siege were marked by chaos and uncertainty. Food and fuel supplies dwindled rapidly. The city's infrastructure crumbled under relentless German bombardment. The citizens of Leningrad braced themselves for a long and bitter struggle. The winter of 1941 to 1942 was the harshest in living memory. Temperatures plummeted to record lows, and the city was blanketed in snow. The lack of food and fuel made the conditions unbearable. People burned furniture, books, and anything they could find to stay warm. Starvation became the city's most insidious enemy. Daily rations were reduced to a meager crust of bread. People ate anything they could find: wallpaper, paste, leather belts, even pets. The streets were littered with the bodies of those who had succumbed to hunger and cold. Despite the horrific conditions, the people of Leningrad refused to surrender. They organized themselves into defense units, manned anti-aircraft guns, and worked tirelessly to maintain essential services. Their spirit, though tested to the limit, remained unbroken. Families huddled together in freezing apartments, sharing whatever scraps they could find. The resilience of the Leningraders became a symbol of hope and defiance. They held on, day by day, driven by the belief that their suffering would not be in vain. The Siege of Leningrad remains one of the most harrowing episodes of World War II, a testament to human endurance and the will to survive against all odds. Section 5, The Road of Life, a lifeline under fire. Amidst the despair, a lifeline emerged. Lake Ladoga. When the lake froze over, it provided a perilous route across the ice. This road of life, as it became known, allowed supplies to trickle into the besieged city. Trucks, driven by brave volunteers, risked German bombardment and treacherous ice to deliver food and evacuate civilians. The road of life was a testament to human courage and ingenuity, but it could not fully alleviate the suffering. The siege continued, and the citizens of Leningrad endured. They found solace in art, music, and literature. The Leningrad Symphony Orchestra famously performed Dmitri Shostakovich's Seventh Symphony, a defiant act of cultural resistance. Section 6, Operation Spark, a glimmer of hope. In January 1943, the Red Army launched Operation Spark, a major offensive aimed at breaking the siege. After months of fierce fighting, Soviet forces managed to punch a narrow corridor through the German lines south of Lake Ladoga. This breakthrough, while significant, did not end the siege. However, it did allow for a more reliable flow of supplies into the city. The corridor, heavily fortified and constantly under attack, became a symbol of hope for the besieged. The tide was slowly turning in favor of the Soviets. The Red Army, bolstered by reinforcements and new equipment, was gaining the upper hand on the Eastern Front. The Siege of Leningrad, however, would drag on for another year. Section 7. The siege is broken, January 1944. In January 1944, almost 2.5 years after it began, the Siege of Leningrad was finally broken. A massive Soviet offensive shattered the German lines, driving the enemy back from the city. The lifting of the siege was a cause for immense celebration. The citizens of Leningrad, emaciated but unbroken, emerged from their ordeal. They had survived one of the most brutal sieges in human history. The city lay in ruins, buildings were destroyed, and the streets were littered with debris. The human cost was immeasurable. Over 1 million civilians had perished during the siege, most from starvation and disease. Section 8. The Scars of Leningrad, a City Remembers. The Siege of Leningrad left an indelible mark on the city and its people. The physical scars of the siege were slow to heal. Rebuilding efforts took decades, and the memories of that horrific time lingered. The siege became a defining chapter in Leningrad's history, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. The city and its people had endured unimaginable suffering, yet they had emerged victorious. The Siege of Leningrad serves as a stark reminder of the horrors of war and the importance of remembrance. It is a story of courage, sacrifice, and the enduring power of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable adversity. Section 9. A Testament to the Human Spirit. The Siege of Leningrad stands as one of the most harrowing episodes of World War II. It was a testament to the human capacity for both unimaginable cruelty and extraordinary resilience. The citizens of Leningrad endured unimaginable suffering, yet they never gave up hope. Their story is a reminder that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit can prevail. The Siege of Leningrad is a story of courage, sacrifice, and the enduring power of hope. It is a story that deserves to be remembered and honored by generations to come.